So I'm Mary Kurek, and I'm with Frontrunners Innovate magazine, and with me is Jim Robertson of New Life Solutions USA. And New Life has a product out that really hits that, I want to call it mental wellness area, that space that can mean a lot of different things. But in your particular case, it means, depression, anxiety, sleeplessness that contributes to lots of different mental health issues, pain, that sort of thing. So I want, Jim, you to tell us a little bit about how New Life came about. I know you're a problem solver, so hit me with what you saw as being a problem and how you wanted to fill it.
Oh, sure, Mary. So I'm glad we have about 3 hours for this interview.
I know, right?
I'll try to be as brief as I can and still get the point across. I'll give a little bit about the background. I'm actually an architect and builder by trade, so no history in science or medicine. But I had a pretty bad accident on a wave runner, broke my back, was introduced to the science behind what we do about 12 years ago. That science originated out of Vienna, Austria. The device itself was fairly archaic, but the science was proven valid, and it really helped me. And at the time, I didn't know why it helped me, but I know that the inflammation around my back injury, along with any anxiety, depression, and sleeplessness I had, was mitigated as well. So at that point, without me understanding anything about the science, it was like a miracle for me. I didn't know if it would work for anybody else like that, but I was so enthralled with it that I actually went to Vienna and acquired the distribution rights for that technology, brought it back to the Caribbean and to Florida and opened clinics and tested sort of whether this worked on other types of patients, other patient populations, and that sort of thing. And so that was the beginning. It was really an exciting time because every time we would try it on someone new, and this technology had been FDA cleared, so we were really able to test it on many things: rheumatoid arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, anything that has an autonomic nervous system component. And what I mean by that is the ANS, or autonomic nervous system, is made up of two parts. And it's really that simple. It's the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Parasympathetic is your rest and relax, and your sympathetic is your fight or flight response. And it's the balance between the two that's critical. So somebody that's had a recent accident or has had a malady of some sort, or an event like a PTSD event, they literally live in sympathetic overdrive, in that fight or flight state. So there are a number of ways we try to lower those in the world, some with pharmaceuticals, anxiety meds, depression meds, pain medications, and some invasive devices like spinal cord stimulators and all that. So that's all I knew. And here I put this thing on. It has needles in my ear. It's not super comfortable, but the darn thing works. About a year and a half into that, we knew that the science was valid, but we needed a different delivery system for the science. So I invented what's today known as the V3 device. And 10 years later, 700 plus design changes, we've now got a finished production level medical technology matched with a full treatment program, a 1-year treatment program. So that's kind of the short story. I could take all day, like I said, really telling you all the stories, and we'll get a chance to do that sometime. But fast forwarding to today, we now understand so much more about the science, not just because we learned it, but because the world became more educated about the autonomic nervous system and how it works. So that's been a great timing for us, if you will.
That's fantastic. Can you at least describe to people what the device looks like?
Yeah, I can.
We'll get a picture or something, and we'll throw with this, with the spotlight that we're doing in the magazine. But if you'll share just describe it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, let me make a comparison. So the original technology, sort of stuck on your neck with adhesive, had hard wires that came up to your ear and had needles that stuck in your ear. Yeah, while that science was valid, we really were compelled to do a couple of things. Get rid of the needles and make it go from being percutaneous to transcutaneous, which is minimally invasive to totally non-invasive. And the way we did that is we replaced the needles with an electrogel that actually permeates the pores of the skin and allows that electrical signal to get into the skin. And what I mean by electrical signal, if you think of a TENS device, that's not a great comparison, but it's the closest thing you'll have. A TENS device sends an electrical signal through your skin to the nerves of the body. We actually send a signal through the skin to the cranial nerves and not to the skin where the pain or discomfort is. We actually go through the cranial nerves. So it's a very small 4.2 volts at 1 hertz. Tick, tick, tick. You don't really feel it. Sometimes you do, but it's a very, very comfortable feeling. So to your point about what the device looks like, it started out as that contraption. And now what we have is an extremely lightweight device that fits behind the ear, clips onto the ear here, and has 3 little electrode pads that go on 3 places on the ear. And we'll send you over a diagram of that. But you don't really know it's on. You wear it 24 hours a day. You sleep, shower with it on. The only thing you can't do is immerse it in water. You can't go swimming with it on, but you can really perform almost any everyday activity with the device on.
Is there like a device it connects to, or does it have to be charged? Anything like that we need to know?
No, it's powered by a battery power source. They're zinc air batteries, which are the strongest, most reliable battery type power sources there are. The device, we originally designed to last for a full 7 days. It now lasts for a full 30 days. So we've really extended the use. So it is a one-use device. You use it, we take the device back, and we send you a new one to use. So every month you have a new device to use. And so you replace the device and you replace the electro pads once a week. That's how it works. So
it's like a kit that you would get, right?
It is.
So, okay.
We've really fast forwarded to and accelerated our efforts, especially under this crisis we're in with COVID-19. And we can expound on that another time, but I'll at least give you the overview. We're always a non-invasive technology that's utilized very simply, very quickly within a clinical environment. One of our models was always going to be a remote model utilizing telehealth and telemedicine and designing the device so the patient could actually put it on themselves. We were about probably 18 to 24 months away from that when COVID reared its ugly head. And we decided to accelerate all efforts toward a remote system. And I'm happy to say now that we have developed the device to be put on remotely, applied remotely. Our consultations and our weekly check-ins are done virtually and remotely with our medical and clinical teams. So the patient can literally go through our entire treatment without ever leaving their home.
Now, does it require a prescription? And tell us about approvals or certifications that are necessary.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it is. It'll always be a prescription device. Someday you might see an over-the-counter version, but not for the kind of things we treat. We're treating really serious issues, really high levels of anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, chronic and acute pain both. So those are the things we treat. The actual patient populations can be anything from veterans with PTSD to rheumatoid arthritis, like I said, even Parkinson's, anything with a nerve component. They're very good patients of ours. Most recently, it's those frontline healthcare workers and first responders. We're trying to lower that rate. Yeah, we're trying to lower that rate of anxiety among that group of people. Because the device works so quickly and so effectively for anxiety and depression, we want to get devices on people as soon as we can. We are pre-regulatory. Everything we've done for FDA in the US, CE marking for Europe, NINSHO for Japan, all of the work has been prepared and done, and we're just in final safety testing. So we're simply waiting on that to be approved by the end of this year. So by the first of next year, we will be in full market entry mode. Between now and then, we don't want to waste any time, and it's a great way to showcase what NuB3 does. So we've established a clinical trial. We were approved 18 months ago under IRB approval. IRBs are institutional review boards, as you probably know, and they're licensed by FDA. So they're very tightly controlled clinical trials and programs. So we've developed a program for those first responders, healthcare workers, and veterans to begin very quickly in the Midwest, starting in Indianapolis.
That's fantastic. I can't imagine how meaningful something like that would be. You know, as you were talking earlier today, I was in a conversation with a gentleman that was talking about having extreme bouts of cluster headaches. And I wonder if something like that, I get them as well. As a matter of fact, I was dealing with one this morning. So sometimes if I'm lucky and I can get to it right as it's starting, I can medicate, you know, can get some medication and it will go away in a period of time. If I don't catch it right away, it's hours and hours of absolute misery and disruptive all the way around in my life.
Sure.
Would something like that impact?
It would. So this is kind of the exciting part of all this, and we try to not let the tail wag the dog, if you will.
Yeah.
We're focusing on the pain, anxiety, depression, sleeplessness within certain patient populations, just to show the world what NuB3 does.
Sure.
Then we all get to have some fun and look at all the different possible uses.
All the different ways.
Anything that's affected by the autonomic nervous system and causes dysfunction, either pain, anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, any one or all of those will make the ANS dysfunctional. And the real key to that is because we are accessing the cranial nerves and we're like, I liken this to the tortoise and the hare. We're the tortoise. We take a longer time getting there, but once we get you there, you have long-term relief versus the short-term relief or the negative side effects. There just simply are no negative side effects with NuB3.
That's fantastic. I think from the standpoint of mental health, mental wellness, and everything that contributes to, to that, that feeds into that space, this could be a real game changer, absolutely, and will blow other people out of the water. This is fantastic. So, Jim, as you're approaching market, what kinds of connections are you looking for? What types of, I'm assuming, clinics, hospitals? Tell me who would be the ideal people to reach out and connect with to kind of get this out there when you're ready.
Yeah, I think we're on sort of two ends of the spectrum. You're probably not going to see us as a distributor that goes door to door and sells to doctors' offices or individual hospitals. A huge component of what we've done is also dramatically lowering the cost of care. So the yearly cost of treating a patient for what we do is a fraction of what many other things cost, especially invasive implanted devices, that sort of thing.
Expensive pain medications.
Yeah. So what our best clients are the government, large corporations, large healthcare organizations, and large healthcare payers that not only want to provide proper patient care and standard of care, but also really want to lower their healthcare costs. And so that's one end of the spectrum. Because we've accelerated this remote treatment program, now we're able to go direct to patient as well. So we never want to exclude a person's family physician or their primary care physician. So we always involve them if they'd like us to do so. But one scenario is, somebody suffering from anxiety and depression sees NuB3 and maybe sees it on the news or talks to someone about it. They reach out to us through the website or through social media or call our hotline. And what we're able to do is connect directly with them. we send them to our telemedicine people, and we're licensed in all 50 states to do prescriptions online for those patients. So even having said that, we provide a portal for their family physician to have access to that patient's results. So we include everyone in the process, but the real point is the patient can reach out to us directly, and we can market directly to the individual. It's really exciting.
So what,
newv3.com. So
newv3.com.
yeah,
Okay.
NU-V3.com. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, this is excellent. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate the information. We'll probably be back at you as we move through some other healthcare situations that I know might tap into this. And one area you mentioned already, diabetes. I believe we talked about that before. And so that, the neuropathy you mentioned, that kind of thing. So we'll be back at you when we get to the point where we're doing something with that. Yeah.
Yeah, we just finished a clinical trial with diabetic neuropathy patients. So I'll share the data with you as well, so you can share.
That's fantastic. Okay. Well, very good. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mary.
All right. Take care.